Yesterday we worked on scientific notation, and this is a really good review for today. We're going to start off reviewing powers of 10, and let's see if we can do this without a calculator. So if you remember, 10 to the first power is simply 10. Ten to the second power is the same thing as saying 10 times 10, and that's going to give you 100. 10 to the third power would be 10 times 10 times 10, and that would give you 1,000. So take a look at these three answers and see if you see a pattern between the answer and the exponent. You can pause this and think about it. 1 exponent, 1 0. 2 is the exponent, 2 zeros. 3 is the exponent, 3 zeros. So it looks like when you want to do a power of 10, you're going to write a 1, and that number of zeros will match the exponents. So 10 to the fourth power would be a 1 and 4 zeros. 10,000. Pause this and go ahead and answer 10 to the fifth and 10 to the sixth. Now 10 to the negative 1, if you want to go ahead and look at your chart in your notes, you can, but let's take a look at some patterns here. We know that we had 10 to the first power, the answer was 10. So we had that 1, and then we moved that decimal point over one spot. So now we have 10 to the negative 1, so let's go ahead and write that 1, but move that decimal over this way. So now we have 1/10. 0.1. 10 to the negative 2 would be 0.01 100th. 10 to the negative 3 would be 0.001 or 1,000th. If you look at what we wrote up here, it's almost like it's going in the opposite direction. You have 1 place value after the decimal to match the 1, 2 place values to match the negative 2, and 3 place values to match the negative 3. Go ahead and work on 10 to the fourth, 10 to the negative fourth, negative fifth, and negative sixth. You have the answer there for 10 to the negative fourth and 10 to the negative fifth, and 10 to the negative sixth wouldn't fit on my screen, but you would have 0. Then you would have 5 zeros and then a 1. What I want you to do for part of your homework is to answer the question, what does it mean to have a positive exponent? If you see a number with a positive exponent, what does that tell you? And then how are negative exponents used? Let's take a look at just moving the decimal point here. You want to move the decimal point so the new numbers between 1 and 10. So here it would have to go to 3.463. And this one would just be 2.57. I'm going to have you do 3 and 4 on your own. And then the next step is actually taking what we did right above and putting in scientific notation. So you would have that 3.463 times 10. Now we have to say, how many place value spots did I move it to get it to be a number between 1 and 10? Well, it was 34, and we went to 3.4, so we only moved it 1 spot right there. Now we have 2.57, and we're going to write times 10, but this time we moved it in the opposite direction. So we moved it 1, 2, 3, and it becomes negative 3. So notice that the negative 3 tells you that the original number here was really, really, really small. And the positive one here tells you that the number was bigger. So work on 3 and 4 on section 2 and 3. Take a look at the answers that I filled in and see if they match up with what you wrote.